In this video, we're going to take a look at a new version of a light we looked at quite a while back here on the channel, the Thrunite T10 V2. This is a AA size flashlight that has the ability to get up to 550 lumens with a 14500 battery. So we're also going to take a look at the difference in light levels between a standard AA and a 14500. So stay tuned, that's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. So the folks at Thrunite were kind enough to send me one of their T10 version 2 flashlights and to sponsor this video. And if you may remember, about 3 years ago, actually almost to the day, it was in October of 2015 when the video came out, I took a look at the Thrunite T10 original version. And this is the improved version of that flashlight. If you remember, that flashlight was 169 lumens, cost about 21 bucks, had a silver end around the lens, and it had 3 modes, 2 lumens, 20 lumens, and 169 lumens. It had a tail switch. This one has a side switch. So that's the old one. But this is the new improved version, which is not only brighter, but it's about $1 less in price too. So let's take a look at the specs and details of this one, the T10 V2. So let's talk about it. The first thing you may, if you remember the other video, notice the other one had a tail switch. This one does not have a tail switch. It actually has a magnetic tail cap, which is pretty cool. And you can see that it'll stick on. You can stick this on a car hood or on the side of anything metal, and it works. It'll even hold it up. So there's that. The control on this one is moved to a side switch, and like all side switch flashlights, the main problem I have, especially in the dark when you need a flashlight, is finding that thing with my thumb. So what I've done, and I think a viewer recommended this several years ago to me, I've got the pocket clip oriented so that at the end of it is a button and I can see it. The flashlight is about 3.5 inches long by about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and it weighs, with a standard alkaline battery, about 2.1 ounces. For those of you who are still stuck in that old ancient metric system, that's 87 millimeters by 19 millimeters by about 59 grams with a battery. Got the Thrunite ultra clear glass lens and a very smooth reflector. Very nice anodized finish on the aircraft grade aluminum. The light levels in this thing go from 0.5 all the way up to 180 with a AA, or 550 with a 14500. And again, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. I'll tell you how this thing works real quickly. So like most of the Thrunites, if you want to get to the lowest level, they're calling that the Firefly or the Moonlight level, you can long press it while it is off. Just hold it down while it's off, and that gives you 0.5 lumens, and that one is good for 49 days. When the light is off, if you press the side switch, that's going to give you the option of going through 2 light levels. You've got the lowest level, which is 5 lumens. Oh, there goes my notes. That's good for 2 days. And the next level, hold it down, it goes up again. That's 35 lumens. That's good for 8 hours. Now, it has a memory feature on those 2 levels. So if you turn it off in the 35 lumens, wait a little while, if you pick it up, turn it back on, it's going to come back onto the 35 lumens light. If you want the lower, just hold it down, it goes back to the low. So there's that. There's a turbo version which allows you to get from any level, you can go to turbo. So in this level, if you just double click it, it goes to turbo, which is 180 lumens. If you double click it again, it's going to go to strobe. So if that bothers you, watch out. Just double click it again, it goes to a strobe at that turbo level. So that's the light levels with the AA. That brings us to the whole subject of the 14500 batteries. If you're not familiar with the different batteries out there, the 14500 battery is basically a rechargeable, higher capacity, higher power battery that kind of fits in the same place as a AA. So here is a AA, and here's a 14500. And to me, they look like they are essentially the same size, the same diameter, same length. So this one will fit anywhere this one will go, but not all flashlights that use a AA are rated to use a 14500, and you could either burn the circuitry out, or I don't know, maybe even start a fire. But the T10 V2 is rated for 14500, and when you use that, it changes everything. And you'll see that in just a minute on the night shots, but you can see that it just works in there. Basically at every level the light is higher, as far as I could tell from the night shots, and there's a tremendous difference between 180 lumens and 550 lumens. So basically from this little light, you can get 550 lumens, which is pretty amazing to me. So I really like the fact that you can have a really super bright 500 lumen flashlight that is small enough to be in your pocket for everyday carry. But if that battery goes dead or runs out, you can always pick up a AA battery anywhere and use it and still get 180 lumens, which is pretty stinking bright and very usable. So there's that. If you're not familiar with the 14500 batteries, I bought these off of Amazon. I think 4 of these were like 10 bucks. You have to have a charger for them, but you can buy these with or without special chargers. In my opinion, if you're ever planning on having an 18650 battery flashlight, which is a bigger super bright flashlight usually or whatever, I used this Thrunite 18650 charger, the MCC4 I think it was, and they work just fine on that. So if you get one that charges multiple batteries, I think, in my opinion, that's a better bargain than buying something that's specifically only going to charge this size batteries. So there's that. Why don't we take a look at the night shots and show you the difference, different levels and different modes, and you'll be able to see the tremendous difference, in my opinion, between the alkaline and the 14500s. So let's take a look at that now and we'll come back and wrap this up. Okay, so here's the T10 V2. Long press it, get on the Firefly. The camera will focus in on it, but that's all the specs in my lovely laserable handwriting. So 0.5 lumens is good for 49 days. Then if you hold the button down while it's at 0.5 lumens, it's going to go to 5 lumens, which is going to be good for 2 days. You can see it's a lot brighter now. And it's good for 2 solid days. Then if you hold it down again, it's going to go up to 35 lumens, which is going to be good for 8 hours. And then see a really good nice spot down there, and if you go out into the distance you can see 35 lumens. It really starts throwing it out there into the old outdoor studio. And then if you want to get to the turbo, which is going to be 180 lumens with the standard AA, good for 95 minutes, just double click it from any level. It goes up to the turbo, and that's the 180 lumens. What I thought we'd do is we'll go ahead and change out the battery, and we're going to do the AA, and then I've got the 14500. And we're just going to do that on the high and let you see what the difference is. So start out, this is the turbo at 180 lumens with the regular AA. And there it is. Okay, so that's 180 lumen turbo. And here's the 14500, which is 550 lumens. Oh yeah, I can tell a huge difference there. So while we got it there, let's just go through all the different levels and see if it looks any brighter. So here's the Firefly, and yeah, the Firefly is way brighter, which I'm assuming everything is going to be brighter. So that's, we'll just turn it off and we'll go to the regular. So that's the regular low, which would be 5 lumens. I'm saying that's probably more like 30 or 40 lumens. Hold it down, it goes up. I don't know what that is. It's probably at least 180, which would have been the regular turbo. And then when you go to turbo from there, it's even brighter. So pretty stinking cool. I mean, that's like a really powerhouse right there in that little tiny little package. All right, well, that was a quick look at the nighttime performance of the Thrunite T10 V2. I'm sure even with my limited camera technology that I'm using here, you can see a tremendous difference between the 180 and the 550 lumens. I just think that is absolutely really cool to be able to have 550 lumens in this light. So pros and cons of this thing, and really the only potential con for me is the like all side switch flashlights. I have a hard time feeling that with my thumb in the dark, especially that's not rubber, it's metal, so there's no tactile indication there. As I'm flipping around past that, I'm just not, maybe your thumbs are more sensitive than mine, so, but that's easily overcome by just putting the pocket clip on there where it's right where you need to kind of orient your thumb, but it does also have a slight advantage because it's less likely that's going to get accidentally turned on. I've had tail cap ones, when I put them in my pocket, get turned on pretty frequently, and I won't notice it till my leg is warm. So I think that's probably less likely to accidentally being turned on. It gives you the opportunity to have this magnetic feature on the tail, which is really handy if you're trying to light up something, if you're working on a car or whatever. So that's pretty cool, and I like the fact again that this thing throws out a beam out there to be such a small light, especially with a 14500. Just really small, lightweight, and this thing is only 20 bucks. 20 bucks for this, which I think is a really cool deal. So you put that in with a couple of 14500 batteries, you might have 25 bucks in it, and you could swap them out, the batteries out when one goes dead, and you got a really bright solution for this small enough to carry in your pocket. I mean, I can put this in my non-Aaron from Gideon's Tactical large size hands. So there you go. So if you're looking for a really cool little light that throws some lumens out there, this might be a good choice for you, the Thrunite T10 V2. Once again, thanks to the folks at Thrunite for sending me this so I can show it to you and for sponsoring this video. And as always, thank you for watching Survival on Purpose. I put out a new video every Friday and Saturday and sometimes random times throughout the week like this one. As always, there's another one right there. And if you're not subscribed, you can click right down there in the corner, click that little subscribe button right next to it. You can click that little bell so you don't miss a single video. I really appreciate the support. Once again, my name's Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident. So be prepared. I'll see you next time.